Deserve this. You go and enjoy your moment.
Thank you, I will.
Back to you guys now, and good morning. 2 Olympians, many more to come throughout the morning. We'll be live to them.
Thank you so much, Tony. That's awesome. Can't wait to chat to you again. But for now, I'll finish my introductions here. This is Gill, and this is Wallace, the cat, a.k.a. Richie McClaw. And today we're going to talk about cancer in your pets, unfortunately. It's a very real problem, is it?
It's a very real problem. We see cancer as being one of the primary diseases we see in older pets. And, yeah, if they don't have it at some stage in their life, it's very unusual, basically.
Jill, when did you first notice that something was awry, as it were? Something wasn't quite right?
It was about 18 months to 2 years ago that, you know, we took an X-ray. We actually weren't sure what it was, were we, Megan? We thought it might have been a fur ball or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. He had a big mass in his abdomen, I could feel it.
Yeah. And then it just started affecting his, you know, his appetite, and he just wasn't right, so...
So they're the symptoms as pet owners need to keep an eye out for?
I think they can be very subtle. Like, I picked it up before he actually showed any clinical symptoms, just on an exam. And I think that's the big thing about older pets especially. They did need to come to us yearly, at least. I think you about once every couple of months, but, you know, yearly at least. And what we're looking for is just changes in mass, anything, abnormal breathing, appetite up, weight down. We've just got to...
But Wallace has got asthma as well, so he's always got abnormal breathing.
He's tricky, yeah.
And he's a Persian.
He's used his little inhaler just in case today. He had a nervous attack.
And that's really good.
Yeah, so we just had to bring that in just in case. But, yeah, he made him a high anaesthetic risk, didn't it, Jill? And
very much so.
We had to be faced with a decision, you know, do we go further and find out what is in his abdomen? And it literally was this size.
No
okay.
way.
I brought the size of the, just in case Wallace decided not to jump off the table. This is how big his tumour was, and whether we actually go in there and do something about it.
Was it benign or malignant?
I'll let Jill tell you that. She's stressed about it,
we were all very stressed about it, and Wallace and I have got a very close relationship. We're totally in love with each other. And I looked at him and I said, I don't care what happens, you are coming back.
Yeah, and she was right.
And I was absolutely petrified. And Alex, Megan's lovely husband, who did the surgery, said there's every chance it'll be malignant. So I had a very stressful few days and phoned back, and it was because it had gone into a second liver lobe. And then he phoned back and he said, the great news is it's benign.
It's a benign cyst.
Oh,
it was a cystic tumour, really unusual. I was actually in on the surgery, looked at it and thought, you know, and I'm like, stay positive, Jill, stay positive. We don't know until we get the histopathology result. And in the end, it turned out to be absolutely something resectable, and he's gone on how a year later?
Well, it's a year later.
Made it through the World Cup, didn't he? And then,
Richie McClaw.
And he's about to watch the game this weekend. So, yeah, so it was a positive result.
We did have the surgery when Richie McCaw had his ankle surgery.
Oh, so he was out at the same time.
He came back for the final.
Wasn't he? He was benched for a while.
A friend of mine, one of Charlie's teachers at school, her cat's just had skin cancer on the ears as well, just from laying in the sun. This is something else pet owners need to be aware of.
Very common problem in cats is squamous cell carcinoma. So any light-coloured cats, gingers and especially white cats. And with New Zealand's ozone not being so great, it's a very common tumour in New Zealand. And luckily with the ears, we can actually do something about that. We've got resectable margins, so we can actually make them into little pandas, and they look absolutely fine. So again, you know, it's not a reason to put your cat down. You know, it's one of those things. It is an owner decision, but cancer is very common, and it's not a death sentence. It's totally fixable in some cases.
How old is Wallace now?
Wallace is going to be 14 on the 1st of October. And I want him around forever.
It's going to be cloned, aren't you, Wally?
Any other advice, Megan, that you've got for people at home?
Well, I think, you know, if you've got a pet, you know, again, once a year, if you get to the vet, we'll be able to tell you what's going on. Don't be afraid of making decisions in older pets' lives. I think we talked about it last week, if they... you know, do we put them through too much? Do we actually torture them at the end? And I think the answer would be no. You know, like, I'm giving these guys years' worth of life. It's not always the case. Unfortunately, there are the sad cases where we do all the surgeries and it turns out to be something nasty. But, you know, it's a good chance if we get it early that we can get that tumour out of there and they go on to live a full lifespan. So, yeah, I think
Wallace has been behaving like a teenager ever since he's been rid of this.
New lease of life.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
Can't fault you, can we? So veterinary intervention, sometimes...
It's been a good thing in this case.
It's been a good thing.
Wallace,
yeah.
thanks for bringing these guys in today. After the break, we reveal the finalists in our pet photo competition.
He's gone. He's gone. Well done.